Today's story isn't just about a queen. It's about a woman who ruled an empire with iron fists by day and indulged in unspeakable pleasures by night. This is the true, unfiltered story of Catherine the Great, the Empress who took Russia to glory and herself to the darkest edges of desire. Born as Princess Sophie in 1729 in Prussia, now modern-day Poland, she came from nobility, but her family was far from wealthy. Fate, however, had other plans. At a young age, she was chosen to marry Peter III, the heir to the Russian throne, a man who would go down in history not as a ruler, but as a drunken, erratic fool. Their marriage was cold, miserable, and devoid of love. Peter had no interest in his stunning new wife, emotionally, mentally, or physically. After converting to Orthodox Christianity, Sophie became Catherine, and thus began the dual life of a queen. Public duty on one side and a private world of endless lovers on the other. Catherine wasn't just beautiful, she was smart, cunning, and dangerously ambitious. She began secret affairs, starting with Sergei Saltykov and then the powerful Grigory Orlov. These weren't just romantic escapades, they were strategic alliances. With Orlov and his brother's military support, Catherine launched a coup in 1762, overthrowing her own husband, Peter III. Peter was imprisoned and shortly afterward murdered. Officially, natural causes; unofficially, Catherine's path to power was now clear. At just 33 years old, she ascended the throne as Catherine II, Empress of all Russia. To the public, she was a visionary leader. She modernized Russia, opened schools, improved the economy, and brought Enlightenment ideas into governance. But behind palace doors, Catherine was a queen with uncontrollable cravings, and she didn't hide them. Her lovers weren't just numerous, they were pampered, promoted, and paraded through court like prized possessions. Land, titles, money, government posts, all were given to the men who satisfied her desires. One of her early lovers was Stanislaw Poniatowski, whom she didn't just sleep with. She used her influence to make him the king of Poland. But Catherine didn't pick just any man, she had a system. Enter Praskovia Bruce, Catherine's most trusted lady-in-waiting and her personal sexual screener. Yes, you heard that right. Bruce's job was to sleep with every potential lover before Catherine did, to test their performance. If a man passed the trial, he was sent to the Empress's chambers. If not, he was dismissed. Bruce was known as the Lady-in-Waiting, but her real title might as well have been the Royal Quality Controller. This system ran for years, until one day Bruce was caught having sex with one of Catherine's favorites behind her back. She was immediately banished from court, exiled along with her lover. Another woman quietly took her place, because the system had to continue. Among all her men, one stood above the rest, Grigory Potemkin. He wasn't just her lover, he was her partner, her political ally, her commander-in-chief, and shockingly, her pimp. Yes, Potemkin didn't just love her. He selected the next men who would. Potemkin would scout young officers, artists, nobles, and if he approved, Catherine would invite them into her private chambers. Some say this was done out of love, or that Potemkin wanted to protect her even from heartbreak. Others say it was pure power and control. Catherine's list of lovers was legendary and and unending. Some were mere teenagers when she was already past 60. By the end of her life, it's believed she had slept with dozens of men, some of them 40 years younger than her. Each new lover was like a gift to herself, and each one was rewarded handsomely. Her palace was full of erotic art. Her bed was rumored to be a custom-built sex throne with carved supports and padded restraints. According to preserved letters and secret documents, she had an obsession with sexual creativity. One note even detailed her fantasy involving costume guards and mechanical devices. Now we come to the most infamous, disturbing rumor of them all. It is whispered, even centuries later, that Catherine the Great's appetite extended beyond human men-eating animals, especially horses. The tale goes that she had a specially designed hoist system built to allow her to have intercourse with a horse. One day, during such an encounter, the harness snapped and the stallion collapsed on top of her, crushing her to death. Of course, most historians dismiss this as an outrageous lie, a smear campaign by enemies who couldn't stand a woman wielding such power. In truth, Catherine likely died of a stroke while in her private chambers, but the rumor was so powerful, it became part of her legacy, just like her reforms, her lovers, and her empire. Catherine the Great ruled Russia for 34 years, longer than any other female leader in Russian history. She expanded the empire, modernized society, and secured Russia's place as a world power. But in the shadows, her legacy remains controversial. Was she a sex-obsessed nymphomaniac, or a powerful woman who refused to let men control her? Her palace rooms, her erotic art, her velvet-lined chambers, they all hint at a life lived without shame, without restraint, and without apology. Even today, her story continues to spark debate. Was Catherine the Great a hero of progress or a monster of lust? So, what do you think? Was Catherine a powerful visionary or the most scandalous monarch in history? Do you believe the stories about her, or do you think it's all just historical slander? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more crazy, dark royal stories from history, because sometimes truth is wilder than fiction.